Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. In our last segment, we discussed the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and its last and final gift to the community as they celebrate 100 years of generosity in our community. That gift includes 6 days of free admission at the Milwaukee County Zoo. And here to fill us in on everything we need to know is Charles Wikenhauser, who is the zoo director.
Good morning.
How are you, Chuck?
Thanks for having us out here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And I mentioned in the last segment, a lot of people don't realize that the Milwaukee County Zoo is open all year long. So what are some of the things that people can specifically look for during the colder months?
Well, we're open every single day, so no matter what it is, it's a holiday or a weekend or a weekday, you're always welcome to come out to the zoo. It's really, we like to think it's a guaranteed nature walk, place to bring the kids, get outside. They're cramped up in the wintertime, maybe run around a little bit. The other thing to remember is most of our animal collection is indoors, in buildings. We have a number of tropical animals and animals that need heat during the wintertime or air conditioning during the summertime. So you'll be able to go from building to building and still stay warm and see most of the animal collection that we have. And then when you get outside, we have a number of animals who enjoy the cold weather. And this time of year got a beautiful coat on for winter. They're more active sometimes than they are in the summertime in that really hot weather. So you'll be able to see quite a few animals when you come out.
Yeah, so like the polar bears are probably loving every single bit of the colder temperatures, right?
Yes, they really enjoy that. They even go swimming during the winter months,
wow,
if you can imagine that. We heat the water a little bit. Penguins are out, again, swimming, so they enjoy that. Our bears, usually they hibernate, but it's been such a warm fall and early winter that they're still coming out too. So you'll be able to see a lot of animals.
How fun is that? And I did want to mention you do have special hours now through February for the zoo, right? So Monday through Friday it's 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then Saturday and Sunday through February 9:30 to 4:30. So people can keep that in mind.
Yes, with the weather or the daylight and things like that, it gets darker early, and by 2:30 in the afternoon or 3, it's time to go home.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does get dark. I can't get used to that yet. So looking back on the history of the zoo, the official opening was back in 1892 at Washington Park, which is amazing, and it was in the late 50s that it actually moved to its current location there on Blue Mound Road.
That's right. In 1892 it started off with maybe a deer and a couple of birds or something or other, and slowly through the years grew in Washington Park to the point where it was going to outgrow that location, and with the relocation of highways in that particular area, the county was fortunate enough to have some land on the west side of the county, which was way kind of out of town at that time. But the late 50s they started building the zoo. The train was one of the first things to go in, so that people actually rode that around the grounds to watch some of the construction. And then in the early 60s, our main buildings were constructed. The aviary, the aquarium reptile center, small mammals and primate buildings.
Good stuff to keep in mind, especially as they head to the zoo. Talk about what it has to offer as a family destination. Obviously, you're looking at the animals and being enlightened by their behavior and things of that nature, but there's a lot more to the zoo.
There certainly is. One of the things that always comes up in our exit surveys when we do the survey to see the satisfaction that our visitors might have, and it always comes up that it's a wonderful place to take the family. You can go there as a family, enjoy the entire day. You can bring your own food with you and lunch or have a picnic, and just walk around in the woods, in the buildings, see the animals. We also have an excellent education program. That's something that is provided by the Zoological Society. That's our nonprofit organization, our support group. And each year there are probably 3 different sessions, spring, summer, and fall sessions, different programs each year, and some with fees, some without. And you can bring out an entire class, or you can bring out a toddler that's from 2 to 3 years old, or you can bring out some middle school kids to enjoy themselves.
I love it. And there's always that aspect of when you're taking a group of kids, getting them prepared for what they're going to see before they even get to the zoo. So then when they see the animals that maybe they've been studying, they're looking for certain things, and it makes it really fun, right?
Well, that's true. And something that we've done to kind of catch those tweeners, as we call them, between the teenage and the middle school time periods. We put in a zip line, and we've got a ropes course.
Oh, wow.
So that you can go out and you can climb that, and I've been on it once. And did the zip line, and now I just watch it go by. But it's fun stuff like that. We have a sky ride and these are during the warmer months, or the train, or the carousel, the Zoomobile, take a pony ride. A lot of activity that way.
Yes, and I always love zoo a la carte. I just have to say that for sure. Great food and the zoo all in one, so it doesn't get better than that, right?
Well, that's 4 days in the third weekend of August, and we usually have about 30 restaurants and 6 stages of live entertainment, and that, all the animals, you can't beat that for an activity.
Can't beat it. That's the truth. And the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's gift to the community, we've mentioned several times, there's 6 days of free admission and free parking at the zoo, December 26th through December 31st. And let's talk about these highlights that people can look forward to. The theme is a woodlands winter.
That's right, and where else than Wisconsin and Milwaukee to have a Wisconsin woodlands winter. We are concentrating a little bit more on our North American animals that way. You mentioned polar bear, the grizzly bear, the black bears, the brown bears. We also have caribou, elk, moose. The keepers in those particular areas will be out amongst the visitors too, so that one of the great experiences that visitors say they have is when they can meet somebody who actually takes care of the animals and they can ask them questions. So they'll be out, a number of volunteers with our animal artifacts on carts, so that you can pick up an antler and feel the weight of that.
Wow.
When you see the elk and those huge antlers that they have, see what they actually feel like, or the fur on a snow leopard, or just a number of artifacts that make people just a little bit more curious about the animal and wanting to know more.
Yeah, and you've got the ice carving that's going to take place as well.
Yes, in Wisconsin, again in the winter, you always have to carve something, whether it's snow sculpture or ice carving. We've got some professionals, and every day during the week they'll have something special that they're doing, and then they'll be on display all week also.
Okay, and I think the temperatures are going to be getting a little more to what we're used to, so that ice will survive.
It will be kind of like a refrigerator, yes. But we're hoping for just enough sunlight and warmth so that people won't hesitate to come out.
Absolutely, that perfect combination of just nice winter weather, but not frigid temperatures. That's what we're hoping for.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But you did mention that even if that's the case, you do have all of the indoor buildings, so it still should not deter people from coming out.
That's right, and our restaurants will be open, so if you need that coffee or some hot chocolate or something, we'll be able to furnish that for you.
Wisconsin folks can handle it, trust me. And you did mention the Zoological Society, Cole's Wild Theater, that's going to be there, and it's an award-winning theater act that you guys are very proud to be a part of. Yes,
Cole's was kind enough to provide some grants. This is live theater. It involves some puppets, live actors, music, that is actually sung, songs that are original, and all the plays are original too. They all have a conservation message, and usually in a particular day there'll be 2 to 3 different programs that the actors will perform. That's something that happens in the summertime, and especially this week with the free days and the larger crowds, we thought we'd bring them back. There's also an opportunity if you're a teacher, or if you have an organization, you're a public library for instance, or a festival during the summer months, that you can reserve a performance by Cole's Theater. They're free, and they'll come out and do one of the plays. You probably have a choice of, say, 5 or 6 different plays, depending on what you might be studying at that particular time in class, and you can get something with that theme to come out, and the kids, they really enjoy that.
Absolutely, and that's all offered free of charge, so I'm sure that there's a schedule that's made up, and it will be based upon availability, but we'll put the phone number where people can call for more information on the Cole's Wild Theater right on the screen, 414-258-2333. And we've been talking about these new snow leopards that the Greater Milwaukee Foundation actually helped you acquire, Asa, and then the one that's on its way, the female, right? She's coming from Switzerland.
Yes.
And so talk about what the addition of these animals means for the zoo.
Well, the Milwaukee County Zoo has been really famous for having snow leopards in our collection and reproducing them so that other zoos can exhibit them also. We participate in one of our programs with our professional organization, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums here in North America, has what's called a species survival plan. And they manage captive populations of animals, whether it's snow leopards or tigers or gorillas, bonobos, as we talked about before too. And when we want to acquire them, we go through them. They have a committee of people, and they have the background, the pedigree, and all of the historic information about snow leopards in captivity. And they provide us then with the right match. And they had suggested that we get Asa from the zoo in Syracuse, and then we are getting the female from the Zurich, Switzerland Zoo.
That is wonderful, and definitely something to look forward to when those two get together, right?
Yes, I think Asa's about 16 months old now. The female is about that age. They're going to be young enough when they get together next spring that you'll see them tumbling around in the exhibit and having a great time.
Definitely something to look forward to. Now, quite a few things are on the schedule at the zoo, and people can always go to your website to get those details. But since we're right here in the winter months, February, of course, is Groundhog Day, and we look for Winter to tell us, Winter, the groundhog,
yes, that's right,
to tell us if she's going to see that shadow or not. That's always something that's a big to-do here in the city.
It always amazes us as to how many people actually want to come out and see that. We're on every TV station. Every weatherman or person wants to do a story about Groundhog's Day. And so we accommodate that. Winter, our groundhog, has a little house that she's put in and put next to the outdoor pen. And she sometimes needs a little prodding, depending on what the weather is. But a few bananas or something else, and she'll go out for treats. And we try to determine if there's a shadow or not, and then everybody can broadcast that to whomever.
Yes, and I mean, we've been fortunate. I know there's some people who like those frigid temperatures, but right now, at the time of this taping, because I don't know what it's going to be like in a week,
that's right.
But I'm loving it, and hopefully winter will allow us to get some more of this later in the winter months, right?
Well, you'll have to come out and encourage her.
Absolutely. Don't think I won't. Well, I thank you so much for coming by and sharing all the outstanding information. People can log on to MilwaukeeZoo.org to get details about anything that we've discussed today, right?
That's correct.
Thank you again. And I want to also remind them there is a giving tree at the zoo, so when they make their way out, look for that, right?
Right in the middle of the gathering place, you'll be able to pull a tag and buy something for the animals.
Like, I love the sound of that. Thank you again for coming by. Charles Wikenhauser is the director of the Milwaukee County Zoo, and for more information on anything we've discussed, again, log on to MilwaukeeZoo.org or call 414-256-5412. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee. Have a great day and Happy New Year.